Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to They're Having Technical Problems. What are they doing? Let me just refresh it. Oh, that's better. That is better. That is better. We've got a countdown. We got a noisy countdown. I'm just gonna leave that ticking away there. Yeah. We'll leave that in the background. So, what are we all hoping for?
Welcome, minion.
What was that? I'm getting some alerts. These are Enidan resub 58 months over on Twitch. This null name subscribed at tier 3 98 months. That's Zerv. That is Zerv, isn't it? That is Zerv. Candleberry Sadie 61 months. Elder Scrolls 22. Fallout, is it 2035 already? No. Intense countdown with, what is this? Chill out meditation music or something? What is, just, do you know what? I'm turning it down even lower. I'm gonna be just on the edge. No, I can't. Is that as loud as I can? Is that as little as I can go? Not remaster of Oblivion would spoil Skyblivion. Yeah, I'm sort of hoping they're not doing that, because if they're doing that, we are going to have such a crap show this year. Skyblivion and an Oblivion remake. First of all, are Bethesda going to allow Skyblivion? I mean, at this point, I don't think they could block them. If they blocked them at this point, they'd be the shade people have thrown at them in the past would be nothing compared to what people would throw at them if they blocked it now. Imagine blocking a project that's been like 13 years in the making. It would be, oh my god. Chasing the Echoes 73 months, thank you very much. So I don't think they could block it. I mean, honestly, it would be too much. I think just basically they'd lose everyone. So then you've got Skyblivion and an Oblivion remake. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather play Skyblivion any day of the week. I mean, look, I liked Oblivion, but it was a dated bloody engine. And I don't care if you prettify it, it's still going to be Oblivion underneath. And whilst there is a pretty good modding community for Oblivion, the Skyrim modding community is just light years as to what they could do ahead in what they could do now. I mean, a lot of that's down to Skyrim being, you know, slightly more modern as well. But yeah, no, I mean, Skyblivion for PC, Oblivion for Xbox. I guess that, I mean, yeah, I guess. But everyone keeps talking about this, like there's been leaks of the Oblivion remake. I've seen nothing official, and everyone just seems to be guessing. And I see videos come up from a lot of people who make videos about BGS content, sort of saying this every year. I can't count the number of times I've heard, well, we're going to get an Oblivion remake, we're going to get a Fallout 3 remake. I'll believe it when I see it, for a start. But at the same time, I'm kind of hoping not Oblivion. A lot of very reputable informers gave info about it. Yeah, but that was true a year ago, and 2 years ago, and 3 years ago. There's a lot of reputable people talking about it, and yet, year after year, we never get it. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to get it this year, but I am saying I'm going to believe it when I see it. I mean, I'm that way with most things nowadays. In fact, there's a little side of me wants to start saying, I'll believe it when I'm actually playing it and I'm happy that it's got all the features it should have. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes even seeing it isn't doing it. You think it's going to be an FONV remake along with season 2 of the show? Why though? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? You think that because you want it, right? Am I right? I'm right, aren't I? It's what you want. Don't get me wrong. I'm up for that. You're just hoping we get some remakes of the old classics at some point. Well, here's the thing. Sky Oblivion comes this year. Sky Oblivion. It looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. Do you know what? I get the feeling I'm going to play Sky Oblivion and it will feel like I'm playing Oblivion. Because in my head, when I remember playing Oblivion and Morrowind, they're so much better than they actually are. If I ever go and install Morrowind with 0 mods, my brain just goes, what the hell? Did I play this? And even with mods, I'm like, yeah, okay. But because in my head, Morrowind is kind of like Skyrim. Same with Oblivion. So I think if we ever see Skywind and we see Sky Oblivion, it's going to feel to me, oh, yeah, this is like Oblivion. The only thing I'm going to be missing is, like in Morrowind, is like levitation and the jumping everywhere. Although they might have put that back in. Probably have. Daggerfall was a big empty nothing. I hope they don't remake it. I liked Daggerfall, but I know what you mean. I don't suffer from the sort of same nostalgia that a lot of people do. I liked Daggerfall, but you know, we've come a long way. Thank you very much. So, FOV. Okay, I'm not even thinking of this. I want Fallout 4, New Vegas, and 3 ported to Switch 2. Well, Skyrim will get ported to Switch 2, won't it? Obviously, because that's what Skyrim does. So, yeah. Right. Do remember though, this is the Xbox show, not the Bethesda Games Studios show. So there's probably a ton of other stuff. Well, no, there is a ton of other stuff. Am I going to play through Vampire the Masquerade 2 when it comes out? Very, very, very probably. I'm no longer saying yes, because every time I say yes and I commit myself to something, I feel like that's a bad idea. I mean, honestly, everything I've said yes to so far that's come out has basically been somewhat controversial or a bit of a dud, or, you know, I mean, no offense to Stalker 2. I mean, I'm enjoying Stalker 2, but let's face it, it's an early access game. It's an early access game. They've got plenty of reasons for having an early access game, but it is an early access game. Did I ever check out any gameplay for Atomfall? I didn't check out any gameplay. Well, a little bit. I saw some glimpses of it, but it does look good. Does look good. I'm not... Snake Dog says, honestly, I have zero anticipation for Vampire the Masquerade 2. I don't think it's going to be a good game, but I hope I'm wrong on every level. I love Bloodlines to death. Yeah, I'm probably in the same place you are then. It's not that I don't think it's going to be a good game. I just don't have an opinion either way. I mean, the first game was... You know, I mean, the first game's very Stalker-esque in its appeal. It was clunky, janky, but there was something about it that was just brilliant. If Skyrim gets ported to the Switch 2, I guess I'll have to get a Switch 2 simply for Skyrim. Not interested in any other Switch games. Or, hear me out here, you play Skyrim where it's supposed to be played, on a PC. Bethesda is streaming this too, for FYI. Yeah, not a big surprise. A lot of the games are under their Softworks label, right? We don't know if BGS are going to make a show in here, but we know things like Doom, for example. That's not Bethesda Game Studios as in Todd Howard, but it's under the old Bethesda publisher label. And for some odd reason, even though Microsoft has bought Bethesda Softworks in its entirety, those games still sport the Bethesda label. I don't even know why that's still a thing. I don't know why Bethesda Softworks is still a thing. I do not understand. They used to be the publishing company for a bunch of developers, right? Including Bethesda Game Studios. Now, surely Xbox is the publishing company. What the hell does Bethesda Softworks do? Apart from confuse the snot out of everyone. Honestly, at this point, please kill off Bethesda Softworks so that when people say Bethesda, they actually mean Todd Howard's Bethesda. Because I still feel like my video screaming about the Elder Scrolls Online not being made by Bethesda Game Studios is still a relevant video to this day. The name is still a thing because Xbox sees value in releasing games under that title. Why though? It's not like it's not like that name at the moment's, you know, bringing much to the table. Bethsoft is the name for the devs that do all the games except TES and FO, essentially. Well, they're not. They are the publishing house for ZeniMax Media, right? They were the publishing arm of ZeniMax Media. ZeniMax Media. Sorry, no, not ZeniMax Media. Wasn't ZeniMax Media the Elder Scrolls Online developers? They were the marketing. Bethesda Softworks was the marketing department of ZeniMax, basically, and they had tons of developers under them. It's just really, it was so damned complicated, and yet not. It was actually quite simple, but because they decided to call the publishing house Bethesda Softworks, it was complicated. Just, yeah. ZeniMax is ESO. ZeniMax Media, right? ZeniMax was the parent company. ZeniMax Media was actually a development team. Again, but they were under the ZeniMax family the same way Bethesda Game Studios was. And they both used Bethesda Softworks to publish the games. Totally ridiculous now. They'll change the name when Toddy leaves. Thing is I don't think Todd has much to do with Bethesda Softworks as far as I can see. Did they formally dissolve Bethsoft? Not really, because they're still streaming on the bloody... I don't... The whole thing just confuses the snot out of me. From what I understand, they still run rather independently, same with Activision Blizzard. I mean, honestly, that's just not really the best, in my opinion. I mean, have the developers run independently? Yeah, but I think they should all just answer to Xbox. We got more chance of getting Fallout New Vegas 2 if they do that. Yeah, there's a selfish reason for everything, isn't there? Ah. Microsoft is keeping the label for money reasons. Right, but what money reasons? Are there really people out there who go, oh, I'm going to buy that game because it's got Bethesda on it? I don't think so. Are there people out there who go, oh, that game's going to be crap because it's got Bethesda on it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There are a ton of people. I mean, if you're releasing Doom, you don't want people going, oh my god, it's Bethesda. Right? You don't want that. And I'm sorry, but that's, at the moment, they're a bit in the doldrums, you know. They've had a few hits and misses. And people love to dunk on them. No, I think people are generally going over the top on the Bethesda dunking. I really do. I think it's way too much. Starfield was not as bad as people make out. It was okay. It was a pretty good game for a while. I enjoyed it, and then I got fed up of it. Right? Nothing to write home about. Honestly, don't think I'm going to play it again. Certainly no time soon. But it wasn't as bad as people made out. People who say, yeah, it was just a bit kind of, I've got way more sympathy for that opinion. It was just a bit, I got bored of it after 50 hours. You know, that I see that. People dunking on them for Fallout 76 at the time. I totally understood that. Totally did. But, you know, there's a lot of the dunking that I never got. Oh, if they stopped re-releasing Skyrim, we'd have Elder Scrolls 7. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. That's not how this works. But, you know. For every one person who dunks on Bethesda and won't buy their games, there's at least 2 or 3 in the opposite end of the spectrum. Are there? I wish they'd make some noise online, you know? I really do. I wish people who were happy and you know, enjoying life would spend more... Mind you, I'm saying that. I was going to say spend more time on the internet, then they probably wouldn't be happy and enjoying life. Because I do think we get a very skewed view of the opinion of general gamers. A very negative skewed view. And I always try to keep a much broader view, which is why I don't think Starfield was the disaster that a lot of people make it out to be. Financially, it was a success. You know, I mean, it made them a truck ton of money. But, you know, saying you like Bethesda is asking to be bullied nowadays. To be honest, it's been like that since about... Well, honestly, there's been a certain hardcore hater brigade that's been there since Oblivion. It was tiny, it was small, but they did like to, you know, have a go at anyone who liked Oblivion because it was so for complete casuals, you know, sort of thing. Michelle Alessandra, thank you for the $20 super chat. So glad you're streaming this today. It gives me, store manager of a GameStop, an excuse to listen to you at work and claim that it is for educational purposes. Cheers. Yeah. Do I need to say something like, you know, highbrow and intellectual just to, like, keep the illusion going? Since horse armor. Okay. Bethesda got dunked on for horse armor, and I understand people dunking on them for horse armor. I think it was worthy of dunking. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I think that's the least of the problems they ever had. It really is. And it certainly didn't make me hate Oblivion. It didn't. I actually liked Oblivion. I liked the Shivering Isles. I liked the other ones, something of the Nine. You know, horse armor, you know, okay.
Welcome, minion.
It was kind of like Mothership Zeta, wasn't it? Ugh, I hate saying Zeta. But, you know, it's kind of like that. Fallout 3 was great. Some of the DLC was okay. Operation Anchorage. You know. So they've had a few stinkers. But then, you know, so did Obsidian. Fallout New Vegas, some pretty good DLC. And then we got Lonesome Road. The most hilariously bad DLC ever made. Yes, fight me. I will stand by that. How you ended some of the great DLC. I mean, Old World Blues is just a classic DLC, but even, you know, Dead Money was pretty good in a very sort of small, somewhat linear way. But to end it with Lonesome Road, are you kidding me? You liked it. Only way to complete that game and roleplay is to play someone of intelligence 1. Or somebody who has serious mental issues. Can't stand that DLC. It's too linear as well. I'll be honest with you, it was horribly linear. It was horribly linear. And everything was so forced about it. Especially the releasing of the nuke, though. That was just ridiculous. That was we need you to launch a nuke like a complete moron just so that the character at the end can tell you what a moron you are. That's what... That's... I hate that. I hated it. I hated it. This null name, 2000-bit cheer, thank you very much. You remember hating Dead Money when you first tried it out, but trying it again, it's your favourite DLC. I get that, you know, Zerv. I think Dead Money was a bit depressing when it first came out, and it was very linear-ish, kind of. It's a different... I mean, it is still... You can still wander around it in a somewhat open fashion, but it just doesn't... It doesn't feel as good as wandering around something like Old World Blues or something like that. I get why, and it was a depressing vibe, a seriously depressing vibe. But yeah, it grows on you, and I think it grows on you because the characters, Dean Domingo or whatever his name is, things like that. I think there's just something about it starts to grow on you. I think Dead Money is pretty well written. And it was a little bit, at times, annoying. But yeah, it was generally speaking, though, I could play it and come away and not feel enraged by it. With Lonesome Road, I just absolutely... Oh. But yeah, so I like that one. Characters and backstory are great. Yeah, definitely. 6 minutes to go.
Welcome, minion.
Angelic Mike, resub, 13 months. Just got home for the podcast. Will there be more Baldur's Gate 3 after the current run? I don't know. Not for a while. To be honest with you, there's a bunch of stuff coming out that I think I'm going to stream, and it might get in the way of my Baldur's Gate 3 run. I'm going to stream Civilization when it comes out. We're going to set myself a challenge to stream it for no more than an hour and a half. Just, you know, to prove it can be done. I'm going to stream Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when it comes out, I think. I'm going to try it out, give it a little bit of a go. Because I'm going to be, before I do my recorded Let's Play of that game, I'm going to be waiting for hardcore mode, obviously. But I also need to wait for a few mods. But I want to try it out. So I might start the early stages of the story, get used to the gameplay a little bit. But, you know, then I'll actually be able to test the mods when they come out as well. And then once everything's ready, I'll do a proper Let's Play of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I mean, again, assuming that it's in a good playable state. So. Hello, Constellations Gaming. Am I going to play Kingdom 1, 2? You mean Kingdom Come 2? Yeah, yes, definitely. Which mods are you waiting for? Manual save and a mod that reduces the head bob. I'm assuming the head bob is going to be as bad as it was in the first one, though. If the head bob is optional or somewhat less horrific, I may not need that one. But I'm going to... Apparently, they've got the whole saver snaps, save stations on the beds thing going, so I'm going to wait until we get manual save before I do a proper, like, recorded playthrough, because I will not be able to engage with the save stations and the saver snaps without mocking. I will break the fourth wall on a constant basis. I mean, might be good for comedic value. It might be good for comedic value, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm still immersed when I'm not immersed. If a game does that to me, I'm not going out of my way to make... I mean, I've done things like that before where I've actually gone out of my way to hide my frustration. Red Dead Redemption 2 is such an example. Because there were certain times with the save and load system in that game where I got enraged, but I hid it from the viewer. Youngstown, thank you for the €5. What are we looking forward to? You, CDPR or Rebel Wolves stuff? Rebel Wolves stuff. That's the new vampire one, isn't it? From some of the people from the original Witcher, I think, isn't it? They may have added a slider or an option on the head bob if it was a common enough complaint. The problem is the head bob in Kingdom Come Deliverance was due to the camera being locked in the skeleton. And it's got a first person skeleton in Kingdom Come Deliverance. So it was very hard to loading mission failed. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm more talking about the fact that I'd save the game, go to bed, wake up the next day, start the game, and Arthur would be in a completely different place. And I had to then run Arthur from wherever he was and try and place him back where I stopped when I saved the damn game. So there was a sense of continuity in the Let's Play. And there's a little side of me resented doing that, wasting sodding time every day doing that just to make the game feel like there was a continuous story. And there was a little side of me, a little bloody-minded side of me, wanted to mock it and leave all that stuff in. But luckily, Red Dead Redemption 2 was such a good game that I basically bit down on my desire to snark. And I'm glad I did, because in spite of that frustration, one of the greatest gaming experiences ever. But, you know, with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, if I'm going through the whole save your schnaps and going to bed to save sort of stuff, I'm just going to be like, you know, it's going to be like Henry running around going, oh, you know, if I die now, I'll have to redo all this. I'm going to go and take a nap. I'm just going to be, because I'm not going to try and role play that. I'm just not. I could do it once or twice, maybe even 3 or 4 times. The, you know, 80th time, I'm going to be coming up with sillier and sillier reasons for sleeping or drinking alcohol. I'm going to get ridiculous. And again, could be great for comedic value, but that's not a game I wanted to make a mockery of. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an actual video game masterpiece. It is, but sometimes it plays a bit like an arcade game, which was really frustrating. Again, that's down to the save game system they had. It's a bit weird. Yeah. But yeah, they've remade how the camera works in KCD. Well, that is good. That is good. Oh. Shh. Shh. Everyone, shh. All games you're about to see are in development and do not represent final products. All games are available on day 1 with Game Pass. Okay. So don't believe your lying eyes. Whatever you see might not be what you get, because it's a work in progress. All right, good to know. Shh, Cindy. Shush. No typing in caps. Okay, it's 18. It's very 18. Like all the 18. We got it! Oh no, it's 16 in some countries. I think we'll get rid of the captions. Why do I feel like they're introducing the Avengers or something? It was a little bit epic. Yeah, alright, okay, so... What's the loading? Please stand by. What's this? Is this the surprise one? Are they going straight to the surprise? Sea of Thieves 2? Team Ninja. Wait. Isn't that...
こんにちは、超えてくもゲームスチーム忍者の安田文彦です。今日は皆様にチーム忍者が長く大切にしてきたアクションシリーズの新情報を発表できる機会をいただけてとても嬉しく思います。早速ですが、こちらをご覧ください。
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a sole ninja. However, the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos.
Hero landing.
Infiltrated the facility. Commencing mission.
Why do you press his ear? He's got a button for communicate. So... okay.
No escape.
Yeah.
Weak. This is it. Ryu Hayabusa.
Whatever your clan is plotting, it ends here. So you've come, Raven.
Back off, Hayabusa.
I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling it.
「世界中の町人の皆さん、10年以上大変お待たせしました。最強の忍者となり容赦なく襲い来る敵に挑むハイスピードアクション忍者ガイデンのナンバリング最新作として忍者ガイデン4を発表させていただきました。本作はプラチナゲームズさんとの協業で開発を進めています。
Well, it's not even that it's too flashy. I mean, I've just finished God of War, and that's flashy.
オートマタなど素晴らしいアクションタイトルを生み出してこられました。忍者ガイデン4というタイトルを10年以上の時を超えて新たに皆様にお届けするにあたり、より多くの方に新鮮な気持ちでプレイしていただけるよう、新たな世界を新主人公であるもう一人の町人、
sorry guys, I'm not.
冒険するという形で制
I
作す
can
ることに
actually
しま
silent
し
this
た。
because no one's listening. You're reading.
先ほどご覧いただいた映像
Nah.
で竜ハヤブサも登場
I didn't even like the combat by the looks of things. It's too
密接に関わってきます。
like zip, 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 zip. Like that. I feel like I'm playing a bloody hummingbird or something. I'm much. God of War flashy. Has Gopher ever played Gacha? No. No, but like God of War has like, you know, great big flashy moves. Jumps up in the air with two bloody swords on chains and spins them and fire streaks out and there's a bloody great big explosion. But there's something about it that feels visceral. That this just doesn't come across. Like, for some reason when he's hitting now, I'm not getting the same feeling of oomph. There's something about, you know, when Kratos hits things that just like yes. I don't know. So it's not that it's flashy. I think there's something about, say, God of War where it just felt visceral, and ooh, there was something in my stomach every time I fought something. This just looks too, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. A lot of hits but no impact. Could be that. Maybe I've just seen too many things like this. Wall running. Floaty was the word. You were feeling it too. Ah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't like the way they run in games like this either. I just don't. Nobody knows anything about this franchise. I'm sure lots of people know about this franchise. I'm just not a lover of what I saw. That's all. What does look like a mobile game mean in this age? No idea. This is more for JRPG peeps. Yeah, my daughter and her boyfriend will probably love this sort of thing. I don't know. Although I don't know. I don't think they play action-y kind of games, because this looks very action-y. My son might like this, actually. My son might like this. It's hack and slash. I don't mind hack and slash. I don't mind it. No more. Thank you for the resub. It's one for the weebs. I don't even know what a weeb is. I've just watched the Shogun TV series, which was brilliant, by the way. Listening to all this Japanese makes me want to watch it again. Such a good series, actually. First person is better than third person. Shots fired. I prefer first person games too, especially for RPGs and shooters and things. But, like, God of War's third person, and I quite liked it. And it's got a very restrictive third person as well, but I like God of War. I love the story, though, in God of War. It surprised me how much I enjoyed learning all the lore. Listening to... what was his name? Myanmar? The Head. I always think of him as Head. It's not Atreus and Myanmar, it's Boy and Head. God of War would never work in first person. Some of the moves he does would just make you want to vomit. Gopher play Elden Ring. Nah, I've sank way too many hours into that game. I don't think I'll be returning. It was Mimir. Mimir? Whatever. Head. Are they saying anything I should be paying attention to? I'm sorry I'm talking over this. I've just got no interest. I mean, to be honest with you, you could just mute me and read. Have I already finished God of War? Will you be doing a review? Is there any real point reviewing a game that was made in 2018? It was brilliant. I loved it. The Queen Valkyrie fight annoyed the snot out of me, but that was about my only complaint. But I really enjoyed it. I 100%ed it as well. Which Shogun? Old one or new one? New one. I was very surprised at how good the story was, and how good it was at telling a story as you just wandered around with the conversations going on between the head, the boy, and Kratos. It was just really good. And I've never played any of the God of War games before, so I didn't really know the story. But what I did before I played it was I watched somebody do a recap of the previous 3 games or something, so I had a vague idea. Thank you, Detronus! Welcome back. Ninja 4, Gaiden is okay. Are we moving on to something else?
さて、本日お伝えしたい発表はそれだけではありません。こちらをご覧ください。
Is it still Team Ninja? Isn't it the same thing? But they just got another hero. Okay. Okay. So
My path leads through the land of the dead.
is this the same game? Because it honestly it
Sunsets on the dragon.
looks better. It doesn't look as zippy aroundy.
Genshi, go back to hell.
All paths before me are cruel and arduous. Our time has come.
Okay, I might play that.
忍者ガイデン2のオリジナル版は2008年に Xbox360 で
Okay.
発売し、バイオレンスな表現と
Number
ハイスピー
2's
ドな
being
バトルを
released.
皆様にお楽しみいただいた作品です。今作忍者ガイデン2ブラックではオリジナル版の表現に立ち戻り、アンリアルエンジン5を用いてグラフィックを大幅に刷新、忍者ガイデン2の完全版として開発いたしました。美麗なグラフィックでお楽しみいただけるのはもちろん、リュウハヤトさんに加え、綾音、もみじ、レイチェルもプレイブルキャラクターとして登場します。
I'd probably need to look at it in more detail, but this looks like a more modern game than number 4.
ゲームパスでこの後すぐに発売となります。忍者ガイデンシリーズを長年応援いただいている皆様はもちろんのこと、本日忍者ガイデンを知っていただいた皆様も忍者ガイデン
And I prefer the running.
ぜひ
I
本作
much
をお楽し
prefer
み
the
ください。
running.
今年はチーム忍者創立30周年の節目であり、本日発表させていただいた忍者ガイデン4を含め2025年は忍者の年、イヤーオブザ忍者となります。ぜひ忍者ガイデンシリーズの展開にご注目ください。本日はありがとうございました。
Okay, we can't tell how the combat feels from that though, because they keep breaking away to the splashes. But it just felt better. But I mean, it's hard to tell from a video, but it just felt good. Okay, that's just weird. That's not how ninjas run. Yeah, it's how human beings run. Oh wait, isn't this the game that's got really weird frame rate, but it's deliberate?
Hi, and welcome to Compulsion Games here in Montreal, Canada. At our studio, we care about world building, and we treat the setting almost like a character of its own. From the magical noir of contrast to the alternate history of We Happy Few, we draw inspiration from the landscape to shape mood, drama, and intrigue. For
This
South of Midnight,
looks
our third-person action-adventure game, the story and
really
characters bring a
nice.
folkloric Deep South to life. This gave us a chance to explore Southern Gothic themes with a dark fantasy twist. So while our protagonist Hazel is at the forefront of our story, it's the macabre elements and larger-than-life creatures that will leave a mark on her journey and growth.
The frame rate thing really bothers me.
It is really picking up out there. Did you pack everything?
Mama, this ain't my first hurricane. I know what to do.
As long as you didn't forget the...
Flashlights and batteries.
Oh, shoot, we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
See, it's okay here.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time at the shelter.
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
Hazel, please.
We might need some help. I might need some help. While you're out helping everybody else.
Hazel!
Oh, no.
This winch. Whoa.
Mama! Hazel may start her journey as a typical 19-year-old, but disastrous events will push her into a darkly magical world where she'll learn who she
Bothering
really
me
is.
now. That really bothers
And
me badly.
how to tap into weaving. An ancient magical power that redefines her trajectory in life.
The land itself chooses Hazel as a weaver. Someone who can see beyond the surface and tap into a deeper reality, the grand tapestry. Weavers can see the fabric binding our world, connecting people, nature, and echoes of the past.
Keep those hands to yourself.
Hazel can perceive both the mystical strands and stigmas in the world. Through her newfound power, she reweaves these stigmas and mends the afflicted creatures she encounters.
As Hazel discovers her power, the world gradually shifts into the surreal, revealing that creatures from the old folktales actually exist.
You up here, my salvation.
Among them is good old Catfish, the storyteller who becomes both the guide and companion to Hazel across the game.
It ain't every day I hear about a new weaver such as yourself. Would you kindly do your weaver thing and help me down?
Meeting Catfish marks the true beginning of Hazel's journey. All of Hazel's arsenal and powers are designed around textile crafting and traditional spinning wheels. Her weapons include a spindle, 2 weaving hooks, and a distaff. Her magic abilities manifest with supernatural lace-like
And it's not
patterns,
always.
blending the
Like
traditional
there,
craft
it looks
with mystical
fine.
elements. Hazel engages with the world through a variety of movement abilities.
Even
Those
there, it doesn't look
abilities
too
also help
bad.
Hazel progress on a journey.
As her journey unfolds,
That looks
Hazel
awful.
will master new weaving abilities, using them to traverse the world, conjure objects, and confront adversaries.
Combat is about understanding and adapting to different enemy archetypes known as Aints, the manifestations of corruption Hazel encounters.
These hates trap Hazel in combat until she unravels them, destroying them in the process.
It seems that sometimes
Each
it
Aint
happens.
has its own unique
and
moveset,
sometimes it
strengths,
doesn't.
and weaknesses that you'll
weird.
need to learn and adapt to. For example, the slug burrows on the ground and unleashes
there, I
devastating
don't like
strikes
it.
from afar, while the Ravager closes the distance with chilling speed. Hazel can counter these threats with agile melee abilities to execute powerful
It also
combos
seems to depend on what you're looking at.
Jump
Like
attacks,
sometimes the monsters are jerky,
and charge attacks.
but the
close combat is
trees are
risky and can
swaying
backfire,
smoothly. So it's
because
definitely
Aints have powerful
deliberate. It's
defensive
definitely
abilities.
deliberate.
Mastering your magical skills becomes the key to gaining the upper hand in combat. Push, pull, and weave are some of the spells at your disposal that give you a tactical advantage during a fight. Timing is everything. Pull distant enemies close to start melee combos, push them back to interrupt and stun their attack. Then press the advantage with follow-up strikes. Spells interact
too weird for me,
uniquely
I'm
with
afraid.
each enemy type, creating dynamic combat scenarios, especially when facing multiple types of opponents at the same time. Once near death, enemies can be unraveled, breaking their core and setting them free of their corruption, which has the added benefit of providing health boosts and reducing ability cooldowns. If you play your combos right, you can enhance Hazel's combat readiness and keep on chaining her abilities. As Hazel progresses in the game, she unlocks new moves and improved abilities, and you'll have to decide which areas to prioritize. The upgrades will change how you approach combat, like enhancing area of effect attacks.
Yeah, I can't watch it
refining
anymore. I'm
push
gonna
and
look
pull
at the
skills
chat.
to improve precision
It's bothering
and make
me.
them feel more rewarding. The combat system is fast and responsive, built around chaining attacks, landing precise strikes, and unraveling enemies.
You mind if I take a look around?
Oh no, that's
You
just
can see every place old Molly terrorized and more. Now for the low, low price of $1.
In Hazel's search
Oh,
for
no,
her
no,
mother,
it's
you'll
it's
explore
because the
multiple
fire.
regions,
I was looking at the
each ruled by
fire.
a
The
mythical
fire was
creature with their own
normal
Southern
frame
Gothic
rate.
history.
It was just
You'll
characters.
gradually uncover the backstories of these beings, once human or animal, who were transformed by tragedy.
The light
Their
effects, for
secrets waiting to
example,
be
was
discovered.
fine, but the
As
characters'
a weaver,
wings were
Hazel
stuttering.
heals these
The whole
creatures by
thing's
collecting
weird.
fragments of haunted memories. We call these echoes, which reveal each creature's past. Hazel must experience these echoes before she can.
It's trying to mimic stop motion animation.
What kind of
as
person would do that? to
Villaron
someone?
said. It is.
We
just
designed
doesn't
each
work for me
region
at all.
to reflect the creature
Does
that's
not.
been doomed to wander it. From the atmospheric environment to unique music themes composed for each one. While not all encounters lead to direct combat, Hazel will need
sometimes
to face
it's the
mythical
trees,
creatures
sometimes
in
it's the
epic
creatures,
confrontation
sometimes
before
it
she
seems
can
to
heal
be.
them. Our boss encounters and gameplay sequences also reflects the uniqueness of each creature, with distinct mechanics that center around a specific thematic. These encounters feature multiple phases that ramp up in complexity. As the
Other than
encounter
that, it
progresses,
looks
the musical
really
builds up,
interesting.
shrinking the tension alongside the fight.
Interesting concept.
Whether it's two-toed tongue
Interesting
or hugging
art
bodies.
style, other than
Each
the
of these larger-than-life
stutters.
creatures is inspired by Southern folklore and lead to climactic battles.
Yeah, the music's really good.
We got a long journey ahead.
South of Midnight unfolds as a hero's journey, and as Hazel, you'll travel through a tapestry of Southern-inspired
The walk.
landscapes.
It's just
From
weird.
abyssal swamps to
Just
flooded
weird with the
farmlands.
stutters. You've
the
heard the
Appalachian
stuttering can be turned off.
In
that
our
case,
magical South, decaying buildings
problem
reclaimed
solved,
by nature
but-
stand moments away from a hungry Rugal. And as Hazel delves deeper, reality bends ever more toward the fantastical.
The history, landscape, and folklore of the American Deep South fill our world, and our team has infused the game with thoughtful details and environmental storytelling, like our bottle trees and haint blue porches, which are said to ward off evil spirits. The weight of the past emerges as central themes, which you can see through old abandoned buildings and businesses.
Really like the
struggling to
look of
survive.
it. This is
As
really
you explore,
appealing.
you'll meet
And then
locals
she
who stayed
moves.
behind even in the face of a hurricane.
Look, so I'm the last person left here. All those damn haints. This part of the river's filthy with them.
Artistically, we're staying true to our moody compulsion signature style. But this time, we're using a handcrafted approach inspired by stop-motion animation,
No.
which allows our team to bring a distinct personality and tone into every prop and character. Because this folklore is open to visual interpretation, we embrace the freedom to reimagine these creatures and their stories, to adapt how they look, and to craft our own version of a fantastical Deep South.
It's weird to see certain objects stuttering and other objects not stuttering. The leaves on the trees are quite
At Compulsion
smooth.
Games, we love to
The
craft
creature's
around
not.
central
It's
themes.
weird. Too
We're
weird.
lucky to
My
add
brain
talent
fights it.
across all our disciplines that collaborate to give South of Midnight such a unique personality. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into South of Midnight. We're thrilled to announce that the game will launch on April 8th, and pre-orders are now available on Xbox and Steam.
I like everything I've seen except for the stuttery effect, the stop motion imitation thing. Especially seeing as it seems to be very selective in what it's stop motioning. And my brain's just constantly fighting me. Okay, what is this?
Bonjour everyone. We are Sunfall Interactive and welcome to our manor. We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refreshed the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
Guillaume and I started trading ideas right away, and that quickly turned into trading files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first prototypes of the reactive turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element, and a cinematic battle camera system. Things really clicked when we tested the first version of those features. We felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers, and when he described the project, I quit my job the following week and joined the team without hesitation. Because I believe that in video games, success always starts with a strong creative vision. And we had that, defined by 3 core elements. A story with great emotional depth, gameplay that innovates on the classics we love, and a world that is completely original, beautiful, and immersive. We founded Central Interactive on these tenets. A group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something great.
You think it's too flashy? I might agree with you.
Is your legacy.
But it's turn-based, so the flashiness happens...
Every great RPG is a compelling story.
At your own pace,
And
you know
Guillaume
what
and
I
I
mean?
spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours. And that started with the hook.
I love the
67
visuals.
years ago, a massive slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year, that number ticks down, and everyone dies younger and younger. Expeditions depart to kill the paintress, determined to fight until their final breath, but none have ever returned. Our story follows Expedition 33.
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other. And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature, with adult characters who feel like real people
Logan's Run.
with real
Yeah.
experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
The heart of the story is about overcoming an existential
like
threat
Shadowheart.
while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate? What duty do we owe to each other or to ourselves? These questions are deeply personal to me, and they permeate the story behind the story.
Know that Lumiere fights with you. Tomorrow comes Expedition 33.
The characters all have their own motivations and perspectives. Gustave and Lune are deeply invested in the expedition, even if they fight all the time. To them, the mission is tied not only to their family, it's central to their identity and purpose.
Protocol doesn't cover every contingency. You know that.
Contrast that with Ciel, whose darkest days have already happened.
What are the stars whispering to you? Actually, I'm the one whispering to them. It's something my dad and I used to do.
And Maëlle, who cares more about really living her life, not just living longer.
Gustave, are you real?
It's not all dark, though. Along the way, they meet various colorful NPCs and recruit Monoko, who is a friendly but kinda bloodthirsty philosopher and a fully playable character. He has a really cool battle mechanic where he can turn into the enemies he defeats.
What are you doing?
Just need foot. Aha!
He's very, very old and has seen many expeditions come and go. He is a Gestrol, which are a group of playful beings who view battle as a form of meditation. They're fun and sort of ridiculous. You'll meet Monoko and many other Gestrols across the game.
Bonjour.
And of course, there is Esquier, who is one of the oldest and lore-wise the most powerful creatures in the verse.
Esquier is that powerful?
He will be your mount and help you travel to secret corners of the world. And if you bring him back his special stones, you can unlock abilities for him to access new areas of the world and find exciting secrets.
I'm strong, but I'm not that strong.
Everyone has their own reason for joining the expedition, and each of them has their own story arc and resolution that we think players will really connect with.
I'm finding myself really interested in
addition
this.
to a strong narrative, we had a clear vision for our own take on the genre's core gameplay. Our reactive turn-based system takes the traditional turn-based battle mechanic we love and adds real-time reaction.
Oh.
which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism. During enemy turns, you can negate all damage by dodging or parrying at the right time.
So it's turn-based, but not?
Turn-based with real-time mechanics took a long time to get right. During initial playtests, turn-based players often found the real-time elements too hard. Some of us are still traumatized by enemies from back then. We've done a lot of rebalancing since, and with a lot of iteration, we ultimately came up with a formula that we're proud of. Players who are good at real-time can take more risks, and others can counterbalance with items and strategies. A big part of that formula lies in the many ways you can customize your character. We spend a lot of time designing each character's unique mechanics and their custom skill trees. Our philosophy is making every type of playstyle viable so that everyone can have fun with how they play the game. Each character has a unique mechanic. Mel switches between stances which can ultimately boost defense or power. I personally like to make Mel the protector of the group, but I'm pretty much the only one at the studio who plays her that way. Most people play her as a glass cannon with Gustav's complementary skills. The characters can also equip hundreds of passive effects, which in our game are called Lumina. Every character has more than 20 unique skills in their skill tree and hundreds of passive effects they can gain through Lumina and weapons. So there are a ton of builds and playstyle to explore. Needless to say, we can't wait to see how you choose to play and what kinds of build you'll design that we probably never even imagined.
I'm sort of hoping you can turn the numbers off a little bit, though. Like there, you didn't see any numbers. I kind of prefer it without the numbers.
Our story is set in the French fantasy world, and I was really excited to design something unique. Every level has its own color and texture identity. For example, the Gestural Village is an early area in the game where players can enjoy a fun break. We wanted something that feels chaotic, grungy, and toy-like. It's basically a bazaar. Everything's disorganized, chaos everywhere, huts are unsafe, built without much thought. It's a place where anyone could fight you at any point, which is pretty much what the Gestrals are like. The Gestural Village is hidden inside the ancient sanctuary. The ideas here were forest, labyrinth, and sentinels. I designed it as a vibrant place, like an old graveyard of Gestrals, or forgotten wooden toys in a box, with two main colors, red and white. I wanted to make it feel cozy, hidden from danger, with traps and labyrinths in case enemies get in. Same process with the characters. Minoko came in a single concept. I thought of a monkey-like body, white fur with a black and red flat mask.
Ladies, could I?
Ow!
Definitely a Gestral.
For SK, we needed a cuddly companion to take us around the world. I thought instantly of a giant inflatable balloon and old Victorian pillows with many intricate motifs. We start with the core themes and ideas, and the visuals grow organically from there.
From the very start of the project, there was one thing that we absolutely wanted to bring back from older JRPGs. A feature we really loved, but is very rare these days. A completely 3D and navigable world map. Yes, we've got a world map. And it was a real challenge to create, both artistically and technically. And it ended up a lot bigger than we expected.
Okay.
You'll definitely need SK's help traveling around.
Here we go!
We're super happy with the result, though, as there's a lot of side paths and entire hidden levels. If you want to fight the toughest bosses of the game, you will have to explore. Good luck.
We've poured our hearts and souls into this game for the past 4 years. That's why we're delighted to announce that Expedition 33 launches on April 24th on Xbox Series X and S and is available day one with Xbox Game Pass. You can already wish the game and follow us for more info.
I've got Game Pass!
We are super excited to invite you into the world of Expedition 33. We are a small, passionate team, it's our debut game, and we can't wait for you to discover our story, our world, and our take on the turn-based genre. On behalf of everyone at Sunfall, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Okay, that has piqued my interest. Again, not my usual sort of game, but honestly, piqued my interest. Now we're off to my usual sort of game.
Here we go.
I'm glad I'm standing for this.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software, where more than 30 years ago, a small team of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever.
And
the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on id's tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
That was so stupid I
Not
mouthed the
forgive him
words.
for what? There was about to be a drop. The music was about to do its drop, and he just started talking.
In Doom: The Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer.
Oh, hello.
This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience. So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series. And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with the combat.
The last game
in Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal.
It's almost like...
And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again. Just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw. Block. Throw. Parry.
No jumping?
Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual. Tons of depth on a single button press. You know, we want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot.
I like jump and shoot.
In The Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight.
Oh.
And the Shield Saw will give you the strength to go head-to-head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created at id. But that's not all. Because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How
Is
about
this person playing with a controller? It feels weird.
Or maybe an electrified gauntlet. Or even a Doom spiked mace. That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades. And it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit. And it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable, smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger.
What is... I'm sorry.
That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns. And Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created.
Okay.
Mean. Ancient. Brutal.
Well, we got the double barrel.
Butcher. Impale. And shred the minions of hell.
Do we have a grapple hook?
Only in Doom. That's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom: The Dark Ages.
Combat in Doom and Quake, the later iterations. So we're going to do Captain America. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely more tanky, isn't it, than previous Dooms? Previous Dooms, at least the last few,
we've made our combat more approachable.
It was all about avoiding being hit,
ever before,
be mobile.
With a new difficulty system and sliders.
Now it's less about being mobile and more about just
and
being a
challenge
tank.
the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story Atlan, which is a mech. It's the size of a building, it's powerful, and you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, we also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The Power Fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut.
Oh my god, now I'm getting God of War vibes.
And smash your way
puzzle
through
solving
full of secrets and treasures.
with your shield.
There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose.
There's still some mobility though with the shield. Using the shield for mobility.
In a Doom game.
I'll
Discovering
probably
secret
get used
caves
to it.
and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game. Where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates, because the battle isn't over yet.
Yes! Thank you!
And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
Why is everyone just doing a conga behind them?
It's for you to decide. When Doom: The Dark Ages releases,
So how many times did they try and get that right? Okay. I'm one of the people that read all the codex entries in the Doom games. Yeah. I kind of like the idea that they're going to tell the story more. But I kind of liked...
I cannot move.
What's going on?
This is so like...
Wait, hello?
You will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell.
It's definitely...
All of Azel's powers
The Doom game definitely seems to have a, like, someone else said it, they said it's got a Hexen vibe, or a Quake vibe, I was thinking.
Our reactive turn-based system.
I gotta admit though, I liked
greater intensity and dynamism.
They're just showing what we've already seen, aren't they? I do like the recent Doom's focus on mobility, moving quickly around the battlefield, changing positions, avoiding enemies, flanking them, just generally. I'm a movement-based player though. I love FPS games where I do a lot of movement. I am a tiny bit worried that the new Doom's going to be a bit press W, run forward and you know what I mean? I mean, that could be because a lot of the footage there seems to be done with a controller, so the person was being very tame with their movement. I like really fast, like games with a lot of mobility. First person. I'm not talking zip, 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 but, you know, like the last couple of Doom games. Was that it? No, nothing else? No, it was... Really? This was the surprise. They gave it to us straight at the beginning, and there's no surprise at the end? Is that it? That's it. No Avowed or Outer Worlds? Eternal was too twitchy. I'm a Twitch player, though. I'm a Twitch player. The only problem I had with Doom Eternal was there seemed to be a mismatch, an unbalance in some of the levels, so that like I could play most of the game on Nightmare, but there were certain of these key battles that you go in that I had to drop it down one difficulty because it was frustratingly hard. But then as soon as I get out of there, suddenly things felt easy and I had to crank it back up to the Nightmare difficulty. I couldn't quite find a sweet spot where I could just play the game. Whereas before that, the Doom, the 2016 one, I just stuck it on Nightmare and played, and, you know, it was a solid experience all the way through. Eternal just had this, like, spikes where I just couldn't handle it. So... Chat isn't happy. Oh my God, chat is not happy, is it? Chat is... I'm glad it's over. So, where was the Oblivion remake? They're waiting for me to die before they release Test 6. You didn't genuinely think they were going to announce Test 6, please. I mean, I was expecting maybe we'd see something about Avowed. Chat is never happy. I can't be honest, though. Really? Look, Doom, yay, good. Ninja 2 seemed the better one, but Expedition 33 and South of Midnight was interesting, but if you can't turn off that stop motion thing, I don't think I could play it. It's too distracting and too bothering. So when am I going to play Doom 2 OG Quake on my channel? Don't think I will. No, it's definitely over, isn't it? It is definitely, we're done. It's over. Yep. It is over. Okay, that sort of low-key sucks. Okay, let's just... Can I get something up that's more interesting? I don't even have anything that's interesting as a desktop for us to look at. Yeah, okay, that's just sort of ended, didn't it? Very underwhelming. So, oh dear, nothing good. Well, no, I mean, look, the things they showed, 3 of them were... The Expedition 33 definitely piqued my interest. I think I might try that one out. It's coming out on Game Pass. I might give that a try. It's turn-based. Might give that a try. Doom, I'm going to play. I play Doom. If it's a Doom game, I play it. That's just a law. I don't know how I'm going to like it because, again, they seem to have... See, I've liked the evolution of Doom. I mean, I played OG Doom back in the day, but I've liked the evolution. Well, I liked the reboot. I really did. I felt like they nailed it. It was just pure high octane FPS fun. Loved it. But again, I'm very much a mobility FPS type player. I like games where you've got to move around, jump over objects, run around the corner, change positions. That's when I end up feeling at my best. So that one felt a little static at times, a little slow, to be honest. Heavier Doom seems like a good change, more melee and crunchy combat. I'm not saying you're wrong, but at the same time, I'm not sure how long it would keep my interest. Again, a lot of it could be because whoever was doing the footage was using a controller to make it look more viewable. And so they were being very, very nice. Maybe you can play more dynamically. So you can throw the shield and teleport to it. Yeah, it looked like you could. But like in Doom, the last one, Doom Eternal, you could double jump, you could grapple. It was such a good game for diving round from one object to the next. You'd see some creature coming over, and so you'd just double jump and then grapple your way onto another enemy, blast them in the face with a shotgun, drop down out of the way. It was all about placement. It was all about knowing the battlefield and being able to move around the battlefield smoothly, quickly. I liked that. But you know what? I'm willing to try it. It's still, at the end of the day, it's a Doom game. I've got to play it. Like I said, it's like a law. So I got to play it. And it has some great looking weapons. And, I love the soundtrack. So, I mean, it's going to happen. But, Oblivion remake announced on Oblivion's anniversary in March. Is that what you're guessing now? Is that what you're guessing? Yeah, well, there you go. I've never played a Doom game before, but I'm excited for the Dark Ages. Oh, you should go back and play the OG Doom. Really old game. Expedition 33 feels great, but they talked a lot about innovating JRPG combat like a dragon already did that stuff. Not sure what that means, to be honest. Yeah. Have you tried the new Doom plus Doom 2 remaster? No, I've not. I've not. Guys, I promise the Fallout 3 remake and the Elder Scrolls 4 remake will be out this year. This time for sure, guys. Honest. Yeah. Oh. Souvenir! Gonna be getting a 5090 this year. Thank you. $2,000. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Do I really need to get a 5090, Zerv? I mean, what are the reviews saying about it? I'm going to guess you're getting a 5090, aren't you? You don't think it's needed? Oh, okay. I just didn't think so. I mean, honestly, the 4090 is still an absolute beast. Gamers Nexus released their review. Yeah, I've downloaded it. I've not seen it yet. It looks like it's 30% max faster than the 4090. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. All of these people saying, oh, it's going to be twice as fast. I didn't believe it for a second. Yeah. Do you know what I need? Do you know what I'll tell you what? Thank you very much. You've helped me a little bit there because I'll tell you what I am buying. I'm having to buy a bunch of case fans. Well, cooler fans. My render rig. The CPU is water cooled and the radiator has 2 fans. And both fans in the last week and a half have started making this huge rattling noise. Both of them. And here's the thing. It's an old cooler. So it's actually amazing it's lasted this long. But what is the chance of 2 fans both basically deteriorating to the point where if it goes, you would actually hear it. It's about 3 meters away from the microphone, but you would hear it. It sounds awful. And they go, both of them go now daily. So I'm going to order some more fans tomorrow. Get a new render rig. No, but I'm getting some new stuff in there. I am. Oh dear. You're probably rebuilding your system, probably with an AMD CPU. And swap over to Linux rather than stick with Windows. Yeah. I can see some advantages with that. I think for me it might be too big. Yeah. You think it sounds like planned obsolescence? They've planned after a certain number of spins the drives go. I think they're Corsair fans. But it's the render rig and it's the original fans that came with it. So it is old and it has been on forever. Those fans have lasted a long time. It was just weird that both of them went. I don't know how old they are, but when did I start doing 4K video? 2K videos. When did I go up to 1440p? I went up to 1440p shortly after getting this. So I can't remember when that was, but I think it was a while ago. I think it was like 7-8 years ago. And the rig has been on more or less the entire time. I actually took it apart and was going to replace the fans because I've got 2 spare 120s lying on the side here that I think I've had for about 6 years as well, but they've not been used. But then I realized that these are 140 fans, so maybe the bearings. Yeah, I think it's the bearings. I think the bearings are just going. Yeah. It was not a shock to me. It was not a shock to me. But I'm just going to buy a couple of 140 fans. I'm going to buy some 80s as well. I've got a couple of NASs. And I want to get some quieter fans on those. They're not terrible, but you know, when you get the screwdriver out, you might as well just get to doing it, yeah? It was around chapter 4 of Leonard. Wasn't it a little earlier than that? Wasn't it chapter 3? I don't actually know. I do not know. Or wasn't it even chapter 2? I honestly do not know. I do not know. Probably if I go to my channel, what I should do is search for the road to 4K. Because that's when it all started. Yeah, 2018-ish. 2018. So it'll have been around there. So 8 years. Slightly more than 8 years, probably. And again, it's been absolutely worked to death. I mean, that's still the thing I'm streaming from. So, yeah. Testing it around the bloody swamp. Yeah, that's the place to test it. That is the place to test it in Skyrim. That damned swamp. You want to mess with a video codec, you go to the swamp outside Solitude and run around there. It is the absolute best place to stress video codecs. Replacing us older fans. Yes. People turn off computers. Yeah, sometimes apparently, yeah. I remember once somebody was telling me off on those videos, quite nastily as well. I've no idea what you're doing. You should just use such and such a codec. It will give images 50 times clearer than that. And he was talking about the NVIDIA codec that comes with the GPU at the time. And this is quite a long time ago when it wasn't even that good. Shadowplay wasn't even that good. And of course, I was using a codec that was like 10 times better than that. And this person was like, really like, oh, and they'd done a recording, of a bit of Skyrim that had really good lighting, and they slowly moved around, very slowly moved around. And I'm like, yeah, that is not a like for like comparison. You want to go to the swamp in Solitude while it's foggy and yet clear skied, and you want to run around constantly turning like a whirling dervish. That will show you the weaknesses of any codec. It's to do with all the foliage. It's got so much foliage and so much strange lighting that it absolutely murders video codecs. Yeah, you guys don't care about this. I'm having old flashbacks to when I built this. So there you go. Maybe we would get Baldur's Gate 3 later, perhaps. I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, it's ended earlier than I thought, but I'm actually a little tired. I went to the physio today, so my back's been worked on. Feeling pretty good, actually, but it's been nice to be able to just stand and talk. So I didn't need to put my hands on the keyboard and the mouse a lot, just so that everything can settle nicely. And I don't think I want to just start playing, because that'll put stress on that area that they worked on. I think I'd rather just relax now and get up tomorrow and do a bit more work, I think. You don't even know what a codec is. Okay, codecs. It's a way of encoding a video, which is basically a fancy way of saying getting a video and squishing it down and making it way smaller than it would be if you just streamed, bit for bit. Raw, uncompressed video footage would basically be massive. A 1 minute video would be absolutely insanely big. So we compress them using encryption, basically. And those things are called codecs, depending on which encryption method you're using. So there you go. Everyone said I was daft playing Skyrim in the swamp, but I did it anyway just to show them. Love the use of whirling dervish. The Forest is another game that stresses it. Yeah, anything with foliage. Anything with foliage and a lot of light. That's what you want. A bit disappointed, Dev Direct and standard rambling. Someone getting a quick. Oh God. Ditherus says, now it's been 6 years since you made the video. You should make a test 6 now or riot. Yeah, but it's not going to happen till 2030. Have you ever heard of Napster? I remember Napster. Oh dear. Yeah. People keep telling me, no, Skyrim's going to come out 2026. I mean, I hope they're right. I really do. I hope they're right. But I'm not convinced. You think 28 or 29? I'm thinking 30. I once predicted 2030 with best case scenario being 2028. And I did say worst case scenario, prepare to be disappointed in 2030. It could take longer. I would need to see some evidence that they've expanded their studios somewhat and that they've been working on Elder Scrolls 6 for a lot longer than we realize. I'd need to find out that they were actually working on the Elder Scrolls 6 from about 2001 onwards to think if there's any hope of it coming out in 2026. But that's just me being pessimistic, I guess. You were thinking 27, but then they made DLC for Starfield. Yeah, but I mean, Starfield came out in 23? Holy crap. Did Starfield come out in 2023? So I'm thinking, 2026, that would be 3 years after Starfield. They would have had to be making the Elder Scrolls 6 for quite some time before Starfield came out, in my opinion. It entered pre-production 6 years ago. Okay, pre-production just means they've started doing sketches, made some plans. It could mean anything. It could mean anything. But unless they've really expanded their numbers and they actually had 2 teams working on it, I don't think Elder Scrolls 6... I mean, do we know for sure Elder Scrolls 6 is in full production now? Because aren't they still doing Starfield? I would have assumed it started straight after, maybe 2024, right after Starfield. But I don't know how true that is. When did they start working on Fallout 4 full development? Was it after all the DLC for Skyrim? I don't know. So it's, when did Skyrim release again? Originally 2011. I feel like we would probably know if they'd sort of doubled in size and they actually had an Elder Scrolls team working on that game while Starfield was still being developed. And isn't Starfield going to get at least one more DLC? Doesn't it have at least one more DLC coming? So Elder Scrolls Online winding down implies Elder Scrolls 6 is coming. No, it doesn't! Since they would cannibalize each other. No, they wouldn't! Go watch my video. The Elder Scrolls Online is not made by Bethesda Game Studios. Please go watch it. Those two games are not direct competition for each other. They are not remotely in competition for each other. Fallout 4 entered actual production in mid-2013. So that was after the DLC came out then. Skyrim DLC. You've pressed the button. You think it's abandoned? They'll do Fallout 5 first if they do it at all. I have no justifications for my feelings, though, says Captain Zedro. I do believe that Elder Scrolls 6 will come out before Fallout 5, unless, again, they've separated Fallout to a separate team. If Elder Scrolls 6 comes out tomorrow, people will flock back to Skyrim, especially with King Gath and the gang making excellent mods. If Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, I do think people will move on from Skyrim if Elder Scrolls 6 hits the spot. If it hits the same urge that Skyrim hits, it'll draw people away. It will. It would have to be a pretty big epic fail not to. I mean, they could probably release, Elder Scrolls 6, almost identical engine to Skyrim, but a whole new land with quests and factions that were not too dissimilar to the Skyrim ones. Everyone would criticize them for not having innovated, but people would still play it, and the modding community would probably take it and run with it. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying. I think Elder Scrolls 6 could take people, move people on from Skyrim. What they would have to do to not do that would be make something where people just didn't want to play. And Skyrim had something that it didn't. That would be the criteria. Skyrim would need to have something that Elder Scrolls 6 didn't have to draw people back there, I think. Okay. Nako's asking, Oblivion Remake, Skyblivion, and Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil all come out the same day. Which do you load up first? Skyblivion. Then Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil. Ooh, Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil. What do you think, Leonard? Do I have Leonard play through Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil? If it's going to be the same unstable engine that Skyrim has, it is. Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, it's going to be a derivation of the engine. It's going to be updated the same way Skyrim's the same engine as Oblivion, the same way as Oblivion's the same engine as Morrowind, etc. It's going to be, they did already announce that they were keeping the creation engine for 2 more games after Fallout 4. The first being Starfield, and the second, I'm assuming, is The Elder Scrolls 6. Will they change it for Fallout 5? I don't know. I doubt it. I really don't. So, what happened to Skywind? It's just not as far on in development as Skyblivion, as far as I know. Meaningful exploration is the most important thing. Yeah, I think that this is the key, isn't it? I think that's the key. I've said it before, I think, on this channel. When I did chapter 11 of Leonard, riding back into Riverwood just gave me such a massive, massive pang of nostalgia. And it's that sort of thing that it hits me, and I think, you know what? I could revisit Skyrim in 20 years' time, and I'll be visiting places and I'll be going, oh, wow, I remember this. I remember coming here for the first time. It's just, there's something about Skyrim. You just keep wanting to wander around and discover things and poke your nose into caves, and it's just so much fun being there. It's so much fun being there. It really is. And I think that's what Starfield misses. So, yeah. What's going on? Have I tried Fallout London? Oh yeah, there's a full playthrough on my channel. Episode 70 released today, actually. More Skyrim VR in the pipeline. I still cannot get the stabilization program to work with Skyrim VR anymore. They updated Leave and it stopped working. So I've tried to find alternatives. There's a stabilization routine that works with OBS, but it's all kind of complicated. So it's a bit of a pain in the backside to do it and make it viewable, because that stabilizer really made a difference. So yeah, but Whiterun feels like home. It's true. There's something about Skyrim. You just keep going back and enjoy playing around and revisiting it, and then maybe starting again with a whole new character and just doing some insane build you've thought of and just playing it, and it feels different. And you don't have to do every single faction every time. You can do 2 factions with one build, and then when you get bored, start again, do another build. Just go in a totally different direction. There's something about Skyrim that's just endlessly replayable, and it's the world. There's loads to do in Skyrim. There's loads to do, which is great. You do need loads to do whilst you're there, but the most important thing is being there is just satisfying. You know, traveling around Skyrim is satisfying. Should Tech 6 take anything from Stalker 2? No. It was totally different games. I was hoping that you would play as an American tourist character in Fallout London. Yeah, you want me to do an American accent? I don't think you want me to do an American accent. There'd be a lot of yee-hawing. If you could pick a location for the next Fallout game, where would you like to see it based? I don't know, to be honest. I don't have any preferences. Just make it somewhere. Honestly, I'm not, Fallout 5 could take something from Stalker 2, mind. Again, I'm going to say no, because just different games. Very different games. So very different. I mean, you could say both are post-apocalyptic, but they're just so radically different. Yeah. Fallout game in Las Vegas would be great. In Las Vegas. That's a joke, right? That's a joke. Yes, that's a joke. It's got to be a joke. Please provide a sample of said American accent we must know. No, you mustn't. It's like when I hear Americans trying to do an English accent. I mean, obviously some Americans can do great English accents, but a lot of people just start going, "Oh, hello there. How are you today?" And I'm like, I'm going to beat you to death with a chair if you don't stop trying to do that. Oh, I say. That does not sound English. That sounds like somebody who's having a stroke. STFU, or I shall brick you. Which has the better atmosphere, though? Stalker 2 or Fallout? Again, they're just so different. Stalker is bleak and terrifying. Fallout is funny. I mean, you could say, yes, it's post-apocalyptic, but be honest, whether it's the TV show or the games, the Fallout universe is kind of, I'm not going to say beautiful. It's appealing. I loved Fallout 3 for the way the Wasteland looked. Oh, God, I just got such an excited vibe in the pit of my stomach looking out over the Wasteland for the first time after you left the vault. It was such an epic moment. And Fallout 4, I didn't love the world as much as I loved Fallout 3's world. I mean, I liked how dense it was at places, but I do think it was just too samey and too busy at times. But at the same time, there's something oddly fun about Fallout 4. And look at the Fallout TV series. They somehow managed to make a post-apocalyptic hellhole look vaguely fun. Stalker doesn't give you any sense of fun or nice. Stalker is way bleaker. You know, they are very different. And I'm a fan of things being different. All my games should stick to what they're good at. You'd love a Fallout game in the Deep South. Wasn't Point Lookout technically in the South somewhere? Stalker gives you the vibe of wanting to go home and hide under the covers. Yeah, kind of. At the same time, there's something about Stalker that's... And look, Stalker 2 is a flawed game. It's an early access game. Let's not beat around the bush. Stalker 2 is an early access game. There's a ton wrong with it. I absolutely love being back in the zone. There's just something about it. I love it. Carl, thank you for the £5 super chat. Will Steve ever make a return in future games? Elder Scrolls related. I don't know. I don't think so. I often wondered whether I should just bring back Steve for, like another game. I thought about it with Skyblivion, one of Steve's ancestors, but I don't think so. I think when I play Skyblivion, I'm going to play an evil character. Partly because you can do more content that way. But partly because people seem to prefer my evil characters. Because people are weird and not very well adjusted. Either that or I don't suit being nice. Which is also worrying. You feel like New Orleans would be perfect. I mean, there's a load of places in Fallout that'd be perfect, right? Evil is fun. Yeah. Jack is my favorite character of all time. And he was sort of fundamentally flawed as well in a way. It's because I can't play evil, but can watch you playing evil. I guess I can sort of get behind that. I do understand that. I wanted to play an evil playthrough of the Brotherhood in Fallout 4. And I was thinking of doing that in VR. But I realized I just couldn't do it. I realized I could not play. I wanted to play a true bigot. Humans first kind of Brotherhood character. Who looked down his nose at ghouls and synths and, and just treated everyone like they were lesser. I was going full on. I was going full on jackboot. That's what I wanted to do. But I was in VR. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I'm not totally sure I could even do full on bigot. I mean, Leonard is a sociopath. And I could imagine playing a psychopath. I could imagine playing someone so twisted and evil they just enjoyed killing and murdering, right? But I think I would have a hard time playing a bigot. I just don't think I could do it. But in VR, it just wasn't possible. If they were too close, I was too there, seeing them in the face. I just couldn't pull it off. I could not pull it off. The reason I wanted to do it is I wanted to make a character that nobody liked. Because I tried to do that with my Xbox character, my Xbox playthrough. I decided to make an incredibly disgusting, horrible, dislikable human being. And everyone ended up loving him. That would be Barry, the sexy beast. I mean, seriously. Hank was a fantastic character. Hank was a ton of fun. Hank was a ton of fun. Yeah. I liked Barry. Barry was a simple man. Very simple man. But again, not a bigot. As long as he can have his flat screen TV, you do you. Oh. I mean, I made him look as disgusting as possible, as slobby as possible. I went out of my way to make him unpleasant. And everyone wanted him back. Will you be playing Vampire the Masquerade 2, by the way? Probably, although we'll have to see how the game is. Apparently you can't play Nosferatu. It's a shame that number 2 isn't a direct play on from number 1. I would love to have carried on with Hank. Hank may be one of my favourite characters to play. Oh. I wish the Play as a Skeleton mod worked better than it did. I wanted to LP. Oh, wow. A Let's Play of Bill searching for Steve. Not a terrible idea. Wouldn't it be fun to Let's Play a skeleton that'd been raised by some necromancer who just buggered off and left them? And now he's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now? Huh? Man, I'm a bloody skeleton. That could have been fun, that, couldn't it? Oh. Now I want to play a skeleton. I want to start a whole new Skyrim playthrough as a skeleton. Was there a mod that let you play as a skeleton? Good grief. Bone puns. It'd be tons, wouldn't it? Oh. You know, if I started that, do you know what like 50% of the comments would be on episode 1? Another Skyrim playthrough? Would almost be worth it just for that. You would believe I've got too much going on. I've got Fallout London. I'm like 89 episodes into it, and I've come to the end of Act 1, right? I might be taking a chapter break at the end of that. I'm thinking of taking a chapter break with Stalker, you know. I'm thinking I might get to a certain point in the main quest, and then it depends on what comes out. It's because we've got quite a few things coming out soon. I was thinking maybe I'd just take a break. I mean, the Let's Play's 3 or 4 weeks ahead anyway, so it would still go on for a few weeks. But I'm wondering whether to just leave it for a few months and wait and see if they fix A-Life. I recently had one of the main quests, and at the end of it, basically, there's supposed to be some sort of event where you hunt this creature. And it spawned a bunch of bloody mutants. And when I say it spawned them behind me, I mean it spawned them on my backside. I had my back against a fence with a sheer drop on the other side, and it spawned a couple of things like a boar. Game's still got a lot of issues. So Stalker is going a bit slow, at least for me. I mean, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, really, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe put that one on a break and check out Kingdom Come 2, but I'm not sure. You don't think A-Life will be fixed well into the year? Well, I'm actually thinking maybe it might be best for me to just wait for, get to a certain point in the Let's Play I don't think I'm too far from it. I'm in the swamps at the moment. And I get the feeling there's going to be a point where I get something, or I get to a certain point where I might be able to just say, you know what, I'm going to leave it there for a while. Because I want to get to a point where I can remember what I was doing at least. And then just see if I wait half a year, see if we get some love on it. I don't know. This is getting weird. I think you've missed the latest 1.13 update on your videos. You say 1. Oh, okay. Let me just. I can check that. Did I say something wrong on the latest video? Let me have a look at this. Modless shortcuts. Oh, did I look at 1.03 and think, I may have made a mistake on that. I may have made a mistake on that, JB Solomon. If I posted today that I thought was on the latest, because it was 1.03. Let me have a look at this. Stalker. Okay, episode 32 is where I started using 1.12 and 1.13. Episode 31 was where I was using 1.11 and 1.12. Episode 30 was where I used 1.1 and 1.11. What episode am I up to in Stalker? I'm up to posted so far. I can't remember. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm still behind. No, you're probably right. Okay, nope, it's me being confused, not you. It's sometimes kind of hard to remember which is which. No. Episode 30 is... What about 29? No, episode 29 is where patch 1.1 kicks in. And then there's quite a few patches coming quick succession for 30, 31, 32. And I've got up to about episode 45 recorded now. And like I said, I'm in the swamps, heading towards Clear Sky Base. I might get to the base, do what I've got to do there, and then I might stop it and call that chapter 1, and then wait for something. See what they do with it. I think that will at least satisfy the Let's Play. And I won't be ending the Let's Play, but it'll be going on a break while I wait for some updates. Because I do get this feeling that there's some roughnesses that need to be... I tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see a mod that replaces all the bloody dialogue, all the English dialogue, with Ukrainians speaking English. It's not the voice actors' fault. You know, all the various voice actors, many of whom are from Kingdom Come Deliverance. I honestly just, I think I would just prefer, even if it's a bunch of amateur Ukrainians, to replace all the voice lines in English with Ukrainian accents. Thank you very much. I'd like that. Sod realism. I'm looking for a vibe. I think it would just vibe a bit better. If it was the stag animal that spawned enemies, that always happens. Yeah, it was the bloody stag animal. I'm like, where are these things coming from? Oh, is that supposed to happen? Is that the stag itself is conjuring animals out of thin air? I get the feeling then, if it's supposed to be calling animals to it, they should arrive from somewhere. They shouldn't just pop out of my own backside. Because that's kind of literally what seemed to be happening. So, you missed the first playthrough. Did you miss the first playthrough of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1? It's worth watching. You plan on playing the game with Ukrainian with subtitles. The problem there is you have to keep stopping and reading the subtitles every time someone says anything. Kind of, They got swamped from the warp. So the creatures are warping in or something? I don't know. I knew I heard Father Godwin. Oh, you hear Father Godwin, you hear Fritz. Fritz, constantly hearing him around. I think there's one or two others as well. I think, who's the guy that does the teaching of the Captain Rose somebody or other? There's the guy who's the captain in... Oh, the castle you run to at the start. I think it's Captain Robard. But then there's also the guy that teaches you fighting in Ratai. I think his voice actor's in it as well. I think I wouldn't swear by this, but I think I've heard at least 7 or 8 different voice actors where I've gone, that's Kingdom Come Deliverance. Captain Bernard, that's the one. Bernard. Thank you. God, I want to go play that game now. I want to go play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 again. Do you want to know the strangest thing there, guys? You want to know the strangest thing? I can still navigate the Kingdom Come Deliverance map in my sleep. I can picture how to get more or less everywhere. There's 1 or 2 places, usually between Ujits and everywhere else, where there's 1 or 2 paths where I might get a little confused. But most places I could get to without even opening the map. I could see it in my sleep. No. I'm just... You're getting there with the city in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, but in Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's all first person. And there's no map. Like, there's no map marker. And there's no compass. You open your map. You've got no idea where you are on that map. You've got no idea which direction you're facing. It's a game that, if you play it on well, that's if you play hardcore mode. If you play it on hardcore mode, you end up knowing it so well. You're currently rewatching that Let's Play. It's fantastic. The eternal quest to get shiny. Yay. Oh. Yeah. But yeah, and the reason I know that map so well is the hardcore mode. Turning off the compass and turning off the map marker absolutely changes the game. That is why I do not want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 without hardcore mode. I mean, I've never played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 without it, so. Oh. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna go. I've been at this has gone over 2 hours and the actual event was only 1 hour. And every 5 minutes an NPC saying, Henry's come to visit us. I feel quite hungry. They better still have Henry's come to see us. I'll miss that. You never could understand how you did that. Amazing. Did what? What did I do? What have I done now? It's not my fault. Someone else made me do it. What? What did I do? Usually when people say that, it's like I failed something so badly. And Gopher complaining that enemies die before he can practice his combos. That was such a frustrating part of the game. That was so frustrating. Master strikes were so easy to do and so overpowered. Combos. You had to spend a bloody perk getting a combo, and then you'd spend a gajillion years attempting to land one. And they'd either block you, or you'd fail the timing, or they'd die in the middle of a combo so you couldn't complete it. It was so annoying. I don't navigate that map so well. Oh, right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're complimenting me. Thank you. Yeah, it was more necessity than anything. I am a terrible map reader and I'm terrible at navigating in general. And so what I end up doing is I end up knowing an area. Like, I get a mental map of the area. I build it up as I travel around. And then I can kind of picture myself anywhere in that map. That's what I had to do in Kingdom Come Deliverance. You could not rely on the map. You could not rely on a compass. So I had no choice. Got lost a fair amount when I first started playing it. Oh, wow, did I get lost. Especially when it got dark. That game was phenomenal in how it did dark. You could not see a damned thing. You cannot see a damned thing. And I remember very early on, one of the early missions, I ended up trying to get home, I think. I was on foot and I was having to take alcohol. I can't remember why I had to take alcohol. Was it because it stopped you sleeping? I think it's because it stopped you falling asleep. So I'm walking home in the middle and I'm following a river and trying not to fall in it and break my leg. Because the terrain is really realistic and very unforgiving of a drunk person walking around in the middle of the night with a torch. God, I miss that game. I fell into a ditch one episode. You remember? Yeah, no, definitely. God, I love that game. I love that game. Oh. I want to go play Kingdom Come Deliverance right now. I shouldn't do. I've played it. I played it a lot. I did a playthrough of that. I may have even recorded just bits of it. I recorded bits of it for posterity. More for my own remembering. I challenged myself to see how much of the game you could get done without doing the main quest once you got to Ratai. Once you got past the intro part and it opens up, how much could you play without doing the main quest? And then what I did is I recorded my character's progress at each point. So I wonder if I've still got that somewhere. God, that might make a fascinating conversation. Gotta look at this. I might have deleted it though. It's yeah. I don't think I did keep it. Kingdom Come Deliverance Viper's Nest. No, I don't think I did. I see. I challenged myself, and I'll have a look, see if it's somewhere else. I think I got to like level 15 or 16 before I had to go and see Sir. Oh God, who was Henry's? I'm not going to spoiler it to anyone. Who was the Lord from the start? The one that from Skalitz. Oh my God. Radzig, right, yeah. Before going to see Radzig in Ratai, I was looking like level 15 or something, level 16. Serious skills in everything except combat, because you can't learn the combat without doing that. You cannot learn the combat. I was bloody amazing with the bow. I was damn good with stealth. I could read. My horse riding was off the charts. I had a pet. And my pet skills were off the chart. My drinking skills were legendary. And I was pretty good in a fist fight. I was like level, and I did every single solitary quest you could do without progressing. And then I did that one quest, and then a bunch. And what I did is every time a side quest came up, I did that, and I never progressed the main quest until I had nothing else to do on the map. Not a single thing. And it is amazing how much of the game you can play without actually doing the main quest. It's because I would have thought you couldn't do that much, especially seeing as you don't get any combat training. But it's actually possible, and it was a ton of fun. This also meant by the time I started doing the main quest, I was actually kind of kicking ass, because although I'd only just started learning the combat, I had so much, my strength, stamina, agility, all these things were off the chart. And my bow skills were epic. So, I could really weaken enemies before they got close to me. Oh, I missed that game. Old man reminiscing. I should really not do this to you guys. I really should not. Wait, Snake Doctor, you left the Millers after the prologue, didn't talk to Bernard, didn't get trained, and you leveled almost your combat skills to 20 without master strikes or riposts. How the hell do you raise sword to level 20 when you can't even block? Because you can't even block until you see him. It doesn't unlock it. Oh, wait. Did you play this on normal mode, not hardcore? Do combat skills unlock differently on normal game? Because for me, on hardcore mode, even though I'm pretty good at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 now, I still lose the initial fist fights, even though I'm so much better at them. Because I can't do the block punch sort of thing by using a lot of health potions. Oh, okay. You can block, you can't riposte. Is that in hardcore as well? Just not riposte or master strike. Riposte. You can't riposte. You can hold the sword up, but you still take damage and lose stamina when you do that, right? It's not like you do... Right, sorry, there is riposting and there's master striking, right? No. Aren't they the same thing? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't do much combat in that particular playthrough outside of the bow, but I stayed very light on my feet. I had the character basically running around with the maximum movement, which meant if I did get into any trouble, I could always run to my horse and then get some distance and pepper them with arrows. And it actually worked. You remember on a second playthrough in hardcore, you remember not being able to block. Yeah, I seem to remember this as well. Yeah. Anyway, look, guys, I'm gonna get out of it. Sorry, I'm just blah 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 now, aren't I? Not talking about anything. If those of you who've not played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, I still highly recommend it. And if you're thinking of trying Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you definitely want to play through the first one. You definitely 1000% want to play through it. Don't play on a hardcore if you don't want to play hardcore. It's still a hard game, though. It's still a hard game. There may be some mods that make it easier if you're just in it for the story. But to be honest, I don't think you'll need them. Once you get used to the combat, it becomes relatively formulaic. Just get in the habit of only picking fights when you really, really think you can, and just use your horse. You can outrun most of the things. It's such a good game. Such a good game. It's on sale on GOG at the moment. And as Nightbot has just said, if you're thinking of getting some new games, get them DRM free over on GOG. With my affiliate link. I don't know if I should definitely get that sorted out. You cannot recommend KCD highly enough. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Sunday. Yes, I'll be back on Sunday. Baldur's Gate 3. Definitely. I say definitely, unless something horrible happens. As far as I know, there's no Formula 1 for a while. So you got no problems there. Let's try and get some progress in Baldur's Gate 3 so that when Civ arrives and whatever other games are coming out on Game Pass, that I might want to start streaming. I'm going to stream Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 pretty much as soon as it unlocks. I'm going to try the game without the mods I want and without hardcore mode and just get a feel for it. It will not be my recorded Let's Play, but I'm going to stream, see how it is. Yeah. So I would like to get Baldur's Gate 3 kind of finished. I kind of want to finish it so I can start my own playthrough as well. I want to do a playthrough where I don't screw up quite as much. Oh dear. For those of you not following my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, much fail has occurred. Anyway, ladies and gents, I will be back on Sunday for Baldur's Gate 3, same place. Feel free to join me if you want to. Thank you for joining me for this ramble and a view of a somewhat disappointing Developers Direct. I'm sure we'll have another one sometime in the nearish future, because that can't be the only announcement for games coming this year. It really can't. So, thank you very much. Thank you for all of the cheers. Thank you for the donation. Zerv. Thank you very much. I've said this before. I'll say it again, because it doesn't get any less true. You guys, you're making this possible. You're making... This basically only happens because of your generosity and support. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, because right about now, I'm just like still loving doing this, because I get to just chat and ramble with you guys over random things. About games I played eight years ago. You get to listen to an old man check his memory in real time. So thank you very much for that. I will see you guys on Sunday for more ramble and some gameplay. Thank you. Good night.